A mysterious mogul stirs up trouble in the Middle East. Nina's boss, excited, asks her to dig deeper. But Nina wants to escape, so she informs her boss quickly. It's a whopping $4 billion financing project, originally scheduled for next year by the City of Light. For some reason, they advanced the project without public announcement, choosing instead to secretly communicate with a bank. Something fishy is going on. After some back and forth on the phone, she confirms the news is legit. Nina's performance is once again impressive, and she needs to stick to her get-it-done style. Within 2 hours, they were sitting across from the mayor of Leipzig. During the negotiations, Nina noticed his rather peculiar-looking Buddha hand. It looked suspicious. Nina quickly figured out the real reason behind the early financing plan. Timing was everything in securing this deal. Without hesitation, she cut the original 2-week proposal timeline to just 1 week. The mayor's reaction was priceless. They have to deliver a complete project proposal in a week. Back at the office, her team was baffled by her approach. But hey, with those paychecks, they just rolled up their sleeves and got to. As Nina sensed the mayor was in dire straits, she realized that securing financing was his dying wish to fix the financial mess. Therefore, she carefully prepared an impressive project proposal and sent it to the mayor. And in order to ensure the success of her pitch, she specifically managed to secure a solo meeting with him beforehand. Before she left, her boss repeatedly reminded her not to budge on the financing deadline, but Nina had her own little plan brewing. She found herself back in the deserted city that had fallen silent due to stalled projects, where the mayor chose to meet on site. As soon as she stepped onto the site, a flood of thoughts raced through Nina's mind, causing her to zone out. On the way, she contemplated what the mayor was thinking and how to navigate the conversation. Soon, her head was filled with questions as though she was on a mental adventure. She pondered whether this negotiation would take an unforeseen twist or turn. Lost in her daydreams, she muttered to herself, reminding herself to stay focused and not to be distracted. "So, do you have any plans? How's my mom? I feel like I'm on the edge of collapse." The mayor didn't linger on that topic, but rather asked Nina to keep it confidential, hoping she would honor her promises. He hoped Nina could close the deal within 10 weeks because he definitely didn't want to swim in penalty fees. This brief meeting would have a lasting impact on the city's future. Nina didn't feel the least bit thrilled about landing this big project. Instead, she was filled with sorrow. Back at the office, finger-pointing from her boss ensued over her risky decision to adjust the financing timeline. The shiny German bank couldn't bear the consequences of a $1 billion penalty. Besides, she was just a tiny pawn among many elites. She had no right to defy the higher-ups. Meanwhile, LeBron's informant discovered Silver Mountain Capital, which bought the junk assets, was just a shell company. So, LeBron approached Nina, asking her to gather evidence of the secret dealings of German Global. She was convinced that Silver Mountain Capital was a secret subsidiary of German Global, used to hide the bank's real operations. However, Nina pointed out that she was new here and didn't have the clearance to access such sensitive transactions. LeBron reminded her that she was now getting cozy with the higher-ups, and there were surely related contracts or materials on the computers. It was at that moment Nina realized that every step she took was being watched, so she rejected LeBron's unreasonable demands yet again. To her surprise, LeBron threatened that he could either make her a star or make her disappear entirely. At that moment, a seed of defiance was planted in Nina's heart. To retaliate, she planned to use the celebration to get colleagues drunk and steal information. So, she succeeded in secretly obtaining the bank's undisclosed accounts while her colleague was passed out drunk. To her shock, this glamorous-looking German bank was actually falling apart. They concealed billions in bad assets via offshore shells, dragging her esteemed investment supervisor into it. Suddenly, she realized that if this document got out, it could trigger a wave of calamity and also create new wealth peaks. She knew deep down that if the financing plan failed, everyone would go down with it. With the financing progress stuck at less than 40%, Nina, as the project leader, felt her only option left was to seek help from LeBron. But at that moment, she decided against it. Once she handed over the evidence, she'd lose all her options. Just then, unusual happenings began to unfold within the team. Former sales champ Adam sought help from his buddy Tom to hit the financing target. Tom claimed he could handle all the financing shares but laid down some tough conditions. If Adam didn't meet his demands, he would send us compromising photos to Adam's wife. Adam never saw it coming that his old buddy would pull such a stunt on him. He had to slow down the financing process to buy his buddy some time, but Nina quickly picked up on his odd behavior. She insisted on accompanying Adam to meet a key client from the Royal Bank of London. They arrived at a trendy bar, where Adam thought he had arranged everything perfectly. However, Nina had plans and realized he was delaying the financing. To expedite the deal, she even had the waiter slip a bit of chili into Adam's drink. Adam soon made a hasty exit due to the spiciness, while Nina smoothly ushered client Phoenix to a more comfortable bar. Our story is just beginning, so don't forget to subscribe and wire your friends with all of this.